What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to some more Warzone. So in today's video I'm going to be talking about the Cronus Zen and whether your favourite streamers are using it or not. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to the channel, give it a thumbs up and make sure you hit the notifications bell for when I'm uploading future videos. And trust me, you're going to want to share this video with your friends because what I found out is pretty shocking. And with that, let's get straight into the video. Okay, so as most of you are aware, the Warzone community is pretty toxic at the moment. There are loads of content creators that are doing videos on the Warzone pros, in inverted commas, that are cheating. Basically, they're just going after them, saying they're cheating, they're using aimbot, they're using wall hacks, they're using Cronus Zen, they're using Cronus Max, and they're basically lying to all of you. Now, I'm not here today to say whether that's true or not. What I decided to do was actually get the evidence behind it on whether the streamers would be able to use the Cronus Zen or the Cronus Max when they're streaming in front of thousands of people, and I will show you what's wrong with the Cronus Zen and what its strong points are and what you guys need to look for if you're trying to catch one of your Warzone streamers out. So as you guys are aware, you can get a Cronus Zen which will be able to help you with your recoil, and it will also be able to help you with added aim assist, which will give you sticky aim. And what I'm going to do now is show you guys what the pros and the cons are of having a Cronus Zen. As you guys are aware, Mutex was found to have a Cronus Max still installed on his computer, and I just thought, with all of this stuff that's going around at the moment, I will give you the evidence and then you guys can make a decision on whether you feel they're using the Cronus Max or not. So I went out and I bought a Cronus Zen to do some testing. Okay, so a quick rundown of what the Cronus Zen does is you can put scripts into the Cronus Zen to help you out with the recoil patterns, and it basically memorizes how you would pull down on the thumbstick. So this is what the AK-47 recoil pattern is like for the Modern Warfare without the Cronus Zen. As you can see, it literally goes straight up. And then if we turn it on, this is ridiculous, but we will do it. Okay, so I did it on the target there, so you can see. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed what happened there when I did that. So with the Cronus Zen, there is a feature on it where you can get added aim assist, which will help you when locking onto targets. It's a little bit like aimbot. The only issue with it, which if you're a streamer trying to use a Cronus Zen, is, can anyone see that? Okay, so the screen is jittering. And the reason why it's jittering is because the aim assist, the added aim assist, is trying to find when that reticle aims slow down on a target, and then it will actually stick to the target. But the only issue with this is you can quite clearly see that the screen is jittering. So I get it if somebody wants to use this mod and they're not showing it in front of 50,000 people and they're just playing at home. Obviously the Cronus Zen is going to help you to be able to get the most stickiest aim assist. But if you're a streamer, can you really use this feature and sit on stream aiming down sight when your screen's doing that? You're locking onto a target and everyone can see that your screen is jittering. So I guess if you are suspecting streamers of using a Cronus Zen or a Cronus Max for the added aim assist, you probably want to watch out for their screen jittering like this. With that being said, you can take this off and just have the normal aim assist and then just get the benefits of the recoil. So I'm just going to take it off now. Okay. So now there's no jittering, but then they're not going to get the benefits of the added aim assist, right? So now I'll show you here quickly. They're still getting the benefit of the low recoil, but they're not getting the benefit of the added aim assist. All right. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is show you the recoil pattern of when I'm controlling the recoil myself and when I'm controlling the recoil through the Cronus Zen. And let's see which is better.
Less than a minute.
So this is with the Cronus Zen. So nice and tight. So now let me turn it off. And then this is going to be me trying to control it. By myself. So, I mean, there's a difference. Obviously, I'm having to readjust the thumbstick myself, as opposed to the Cronus Zen doing it for me. So you can clearly see that they're both about the same, and that's me doing it myself on the right hand side and the Cronus Zen doing it on the left hand side. And to be honest with you, I'd probably say that my one's a little bit better than the Cronus Zen. Okay, so the other issues that you have with the Cronus Zen or the Cronus Max is you have a primary weapon and you have a secondary weapon. Now the secondary weapon and the primary weapon will have different recoil patterns, right? So if you're rocking an MP5, it will have a different recoil pattern to the, AK-47 or whatever gun that you've decided you want to use. So you will have downloaded those scripts for those different recoil patterns. And when you press the change weapon button, whichever that is or whatever you're playing on, for me, playing on PlayStation, it's the triangle button. So I go like that to change to my secondary weapon. So you obviously need the Cronus Zen to have the secondary weapon recoil pattern on there. So you can then input primary and secondary recoil patterns into the Cronus Zen. I know that's getting a little bit complicated, but I hope you guys kind of understand that. So then when I swap to this, it's the AK-47 recoil pattern. Then when I swap to the AUG, it's the AUG recoil pattern, right? Now, when you're playing in Warzone and you're running around and you're swapping weapons and you get shot a few times and you need to change your plates, which is also using the triangle button, you're going to end up swapping the recoil patterns over, and then you have to reset the Cronus Zen by pushing the options button and the menu button at the same time for it to reset primary and secondary. Now, could you imagine if you're in a really intense gunfight and your recoil patterns swap over? So if you see any streamers that are online and all of a sudden they lose their recoil on a particular gun, then that's going to be a sign that they're using a Cronus Zen because they've accidentally pushed the plates button to replay up and it swapped the recoil patterns over between primary and secondary. Is that something that you can risk when you're online and you've got like 10,000 people following you and you're rushing in buildings, replating up, swapping between your primary and secondary weapon all the time, and you've got to constantly look down at the Cronus Zen to see if it's green or whether it's red? Green is for primary and red is for secondary. So you have to constantly look down, and then if it has swapped over and the recoil patterns are on the wrong guns, then you then need to reset it by pushing the options menu and pushing the options menu and the other menu button together at the same time to reset it. So I don't feel myself like that's something you would be able to do constantly in a gunfight, having to constantly check you've got the right recoil patterns. Now I showed you, you know, me controlling the recoil pattern myself earlier, which is, this is with the Cronus Zen on. And don't forget, this is a really high recoil gun. And then this is me doing it myself. Turn it off. Now obviously the first couple of bullets I have to readjust it and get control of it. I'm sure that there are other COD players out there that can control the recoil better than me. But there isn't, I mean the first couple of shots, see, I lose control and then I regain the control again. Like for me, I don't think there's that much of a benefit of using a Cronus Zen when you can control the recoil yourself and you're not getting any of the added benefits of the added aim assist, because if you turn the added aim assist on, you get that real difficult screen jitter. So everyone that's watching you is going to know that you're using a Cronus Zen. Plus you've then got the added issues of the recoil patterns switching over when you replay up or you get in a vehicle or anything like that. You're going to end up losing the weapons. Now you can set up the Cronus Zen where you just have it set to a primary weapon and don't have a secondary weapon set up as a recoil pattern. But then the only issue with that is then when you first land in and you have to get a weapon off the ground, you have to turn your Cronus Zen off, and then you then have to turn it back on once you've got the loadout. And it's just a lot of messing around just to be able to, you know, control the recoil, when most people that play Warzone, you know, there are people out there that do struggle with controlling the recoil, but most people, you know, after a bit of practice can control the recoil themselves. And I thought, you know, I would just do this video to show you guys that, to be honest with you, the Cronus Zen isn't that good. And there's also an input lag on this as well. And during times of using the Cronus Zen, sometimes it just completely stops working and you just actually have no control whatsoever, and then you have to quickly rip the Cronus Zen out of the PlayStation or computer because it just stops working. It says please add a controller. So there's loads of issues with it. Now obviously if you're live on stream and all of a sudden your controller just stops working, it's going to look a bit sus while you're replugging your Cronus Zen back in live on stream. Okay guys, so also drive a vehicle when you're using a single shot gun that has rapid fire like this. Yeah, it's a single shot gun, gives you rapid fire. But then you try and get into a vehicle and drive, this will happen. Now that's me accelerating as fast as I can, and that's because the input for the trigger finger is the same. So it's constantly rapid firing while I'm trying to drive. So you'll never get any speed when you drive. You will then have to get out the vehicle, swap it over, and drive only with your secondary weapon, and then you can drive the vehicle. Now also, when you brake, watch the screen jitter, and then you reverse. Look at that. The whole screen completely jitters. Now that's with the secondary weapon. So if you use the added aim assist, which makes the screen jitter, so you can see here the screen is jittering. If you look over at the fire station to the left, you can quite clearly see that the screen is jittering, yeah? So that's with the added aim assist. So if you get in a vehicle and you have to reverse, you're going to do that. So if you see any streamers, when they reverse a vehicle and the screen goes like this, you know 100% are using a Cronus Zen. So like I said, there are loads of bugs with the Cronus Zen and the Cronus Max, and to be honest with you, is it really worth using it? I'll leave that up to you guys to tell me what you guys think in the comments section. Okay guys, so I went out of my way to get one of these Cronus Zens to kind of show you the pros and the cons of the weapon. I just want to say that none of the actual content of me on Rebirth is me using a Cronus Zen. I used the Cronus Zen for about a week in bot lobbies to try and get used to it, to find out, you know, what's good about it, what's bad about it. And to be honest with you, when I started playing Rebirth again without the Cronus Zen, I was actually a worse player because I'd been used to the Cronus Zen and relying on its capabilities in reducing the recoil. And I just wanted to do this video because obviously there's lots of content creators at the moment that are giving out lots of information to you guys around, you know, streamers using Cronus Zen, and you know, the top Warzone pros are using a Cronus Max and all that kind of things. And I wanted you guys to actually get the information from somebody that has tested a Cronus Zen, and then you guys can make your minds up on whether you feel it's something that streamers would actually risk doing live on stream. If you guys enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to the channel, give it a thumbs up, make sure you hit the notifications bell for when I'm uploading future content, and with that guys, stay blessed.